Good morning, guys. It's Double Wide 6, and it's Saturday, December 5th. And this is my second vlog post. I want to talk a little bit about why I'm continuing to do the blog, and I want to answer some of the questions that I got from my first vlog. So let me just pull up some of these questions quick. One of them came from a member out there named Rusty Repairs. He said, personally, I like the how-to that comes from your videos you've done. As they say, a picture paints 1,000 words. Whatever works for you, I will still be a sub. Good luck with whatever you do. Well, I appreciate that, Rusty. And I kind of like the way that you left it up to me to decide what it is that I should be doing. And that makes good sense to me. Richard Rogers, he says, I've enjoyed a lot from your videos, including this vlog. Most people are probably seeking a quick how-to solution to an immediate problem, but I think it makes sense to occasionally personalize things with a vlog like this. It's a good way to inspire and educate others, considering making small engine repair a side or full-time business. I appreciate that, Richard. I think a lot of people out there are watching my videos when they're in a pinch and they need to learn something. But I've realized that I have a whole following of small engine mechanics that are watching my videos every week and not really looking for something specific. So I just want to be clear that the whole idea of the vlog is not to take away from the small engine repair and the wrenching and the working in the garage and the problem solving that everyone seeks. My idea with the vlog is just so that you guys can get to know me a little better. It'll be on more of a personal level and I can answer some questions. We'll go down, we'll take one more. I have one from Jason Voorhees down here. Like the saying goes, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. My nephew was always tinkering with mini bikes, go-karts, small engines, making them go faster. He now builds race motors that bring the front tires off the ground. I'm very proud of him. Well, that's pretty inspiring, and I think, you guys that are working on small engines and learning from people on YouTube, it's a great way to set up a side hobby, keep yourself busy, and learn some things. You guys that responded to the last vlog, I really appreciate it. And if you want to continue to ask questions and respond to this one, I'll take some of those questions in the next vlog and highlight them. So today's vlog, we're talking about what a small business is and what it means to run a small engine shop. Okay. The first thing is I am a very little shop. I work out of a 2-car garage. There are huge dealers in my area. There's probably 4 of them, and most of them are closer to the city. So I kind of work out in the suburbs, and I have people that generally mow about an acre of property and have tractors. So I primarily specialize in working in tractors. I do a lot of tune-ups, a lot of repair work on tractors. I also get lawn mowers and snow blowers. So that's mainly what I do. So why do people bring their equipment to me instead of one of the big dogs? First of all, there's a relationship that I have developed with customers. So when customers come over here, I try and talk to them. I try and listen to them. I try and answer their questions. You got to keep in mind, I'm the mechanic. So when they have questions about whether or not they should use stabilizer, whether or not they should start the mower or shut it down on full throttle, they're talking to me. They're not talking to someone that's selling equipment behind the counter. So I think they like that, and I usually do get a lot of questions that I answer when customers come over. So number one, we're at more of a personal level. Number two, I have way less overhead than these big, huge tractor supply houses. These guys are working on industrial farm equipment. They've got Exmark, they've got Hustler, they got Wright machines, they have Toro, they have like all this different stuff going on, and it's hard to keep track of. Where I'm just dealing with a couple tractors at a time, and I pretty much know exactly what each tractor in the shop needs, and if I get any questions on it, I can answer it for the customer. It's definitely a lot more personable. And as far as overhead, I don't have employees. I don't have health care I'm paying for people and benefits and that type of stuff. So I can really keep my costs low. And I don't have like huge equipment over here like some of these bigger shops do because they deal with a lot of bigger equipment. All right, next thing on here. I have really quick turnaround time. So that's why people come to me. I can fix your mower in a day or two, especially if I have the parts. And right now, I kind of pick and choose the jobs that I want to do. I know that I specialize in 4-cycle engines rather than 2-cycle. If things get slow, I can do some 2-cycle stuff, but as far as tractors coming in, someone needs it because they have to mow some lawns, I can usually get it back to them pretty quick. I also have the ability to pick up and return items. So I use a pickup truck with a lift gate, which works great for snow blowers and tillers and things like that. And I also have a 6x9 trailer. So a lot of times I'll get tractors that don't run, and I have a winch on that. I can pull them up on the trailer. I offer pickup and delivery service, and I've even put flyers around the local neighborhood within 2 to 3 miles of my house. I made my own flyers and I delivered them. I hung them on mailboxes, and I got a fair amount of work just through that, and also word of mouth because people know where I'm at. So I try and pick up and return for about $40 with a 3-mile trip. And that's pretty cheap because these people have no way of getting tractors to me. And sometimes I see people, there's like this main road that comes down basically to my property. And I've seen people drive up to 3/4 of a mile on this road to bring me tractors that they want work done. So that's kind of funny, but dangerous because there's not a lot of room for them. Let's see. The other nice thing about my business is when you bring something to my shop, it's being worked on by me. So it's my name on that. And I'm going to make sure that when I work on something, it's done to the best of my ability. I like to do to people's tractors as I would do to my own. So if I notice there's problems, like let's say there's a spring, a tensioner on the deck, and it looks like the hole where that clips in is starting to wear out but not quite broken through. Well, I would go and weld that and fix that for the customer and probably not even charge them. If they're missing something like a handle or a grip for engaging the tractor deck, if I have that part laying around, I'll just stick it on their tractor and not even charge them for it. So I do that just because I know these customers will come back. Sometimes people come up to the shop and they'll need something, like a push rod. If I have it, I will give it to them. I like developing that relationship with people. You'd be surprised how far that goes, and word of mouth. I even get things brought into my shop just because people know I tinker around with stuff. I've fixed welded plant stands for people, mailboxes. I had a guy bring down an electric circular saw that had an issue with the switch. He just stopped in here. I always fixed his chainsaws and his mowers, his pressure washer. And he's like, yeah, I got this chop saw. It's not turning on. I'm going to throw it out. It was a DeWalt. He's like, can you just take a look at it for me? And sure enough, okay. I looked at it. We figured out, there was a little bit of sawdust in the switch. And, he's back up and running. And people love that. He's going to be back because I take good care of him. All right, another thing. I have the ability to weld, and with a small engine shop, that is a great asset. I don't know, if the bigger shops even have welders in there. I imagine they do, but it's a specialized type of trade, and I have good welding equipment and the ability to weld. So I can fix decks that are cracked, decks that are rusted through. And a lot of times I find with welding that, I can get like a bolt that's broken off, I'll weld it and get that out. or there's parts that are obsolete, and what I'll do is I'll weld them to fix them. So that's great, because I can tell you right now, if you go over your John Deere dealer and the part's no longer available, you're out of luck. Okay, they're not going to go on eBay and try and find that part, where I will. I don't care. I'll take a little time for you to try and find a used part, and we'll put that on your tractor. But if the used part isn't available, and this is something I think I can fix, I'll go ahead and weld it up and fix it for you, because that's what I do. Let's see here. If you call on the phone, you're going to talk to me. Okay, so you're going to talk to the guy that's going to be working on your tractor. You're not going to be talking to the accounting secretary or anyone else in there, the guy that does parts. You're going to actually be talking with me, and I can answer all your questions. And I think, as a customer, that's a really nice advantage to dealing with a small business. And you're also supporting your community by using a small business. The other thing that I like to do is, sometimes I get equipment over here that has like a blown engine or it's worn out, but people don't even realize that their equipment is not worth fixing. So, for instance, I had a guy that brought over a backpack leaf blower. The thing looked brand new. And after talking to him, I realized it had no compression or very low compression. And, he said that he has a driveway that's like 2 miles long, and he runs 2 tanks of gas just to blow it off. Well, that machine got too hot, and it ended up, kind of destroying it, and it lost compression. And I spent some time playing around with it till I figured out exactly, what was wrong. And, I made a mistake with that because I realized it looked so new. I just thought it was like a fuel issue. And then after I got into it, I realized after I compression tested it that it didn't really have compression, good enough compression. So anyhow, what I'm getting at is these type of repairs, the customer's kind of upset because they have a $400 or $500 piece of equipment that is basically garbage, and generally I'll tell them, look, it's going to be kind of expensive, but what I'm going to do is I could work on it in the winter if they wanted to, when things slow down, or if you don't want to fix it, that's fine. But generally, I don't charge these people. So I've had a couple different pieces of equipment come in that I look at that aren't worth repairing, and I don't even charge the people. Because I know, once again, that they'll be back with other stuff. And, I don't feel like I'm really doing anything when I just kind of look at something for 10 minutes and tell them, yeah, I'm sure that it's a blown engine or whatnot. And I can tell you, I buy a lot of tractors from dealerships. And when times get slow, I pick up tractors, I'll fix them up and sell them. And I have bought several tractors that are put outside and to the side because they have blown engines or whatnot. They're done. And I have picked up a few of these that I have been able to fix. It's things like broken compression release and misdiagnosed tractors. And I think that these shops just get so many tractors. They're overwhelmed. No one's double checking. And, whatever the mechanic says, that's what happens. No one looks at it again. I went over there, I look at them, I see if they have compression and what's on them. And, sometimes it's worth taking a chance if you can get a tractor for like $75. Let's see, other things. Sometimes I do get return calls. So people will ask me to, I fixed something, but it's not working. So generally, being that I'm a one-man show, I'm going to show up out there at their house and fix their tractor right away. If I have to pick it up, I will, but I have done some calls in the past, and usually when I do that work, I don't charge them anything. Like one time, I put a belt on a John Deere tractor. It was an OEM belt, and the lady cut her lawn like 3 or 4 times, and then all of a sudden the belt broke. And I bought a new belt. I drove over to her house, and I went to put it on, and they actually mailed the wrong belt. So I went back home, got the right belt, brought it over, put it on the tractor, and she wanted to pay me, but I look at it like that belt was not put on right, and that's why it broke. And sometimes you just got to eat it and keep customers happy. And I think you have a better chance of dealing with a guy at a single guy that owns a shop and has his name and reputation on the line than you do dealing with a big company. All right, guys, the last thing I want to talk about here is that I live in a nice neighborhood. I know a lot of you guys do small engine repair and are setting up your own shops and that. That's great. I hope you're paying taxes. I know I am. But the other thing I want to keep in mind is that you have neighbors, and you want to take good care of your neighbors, and you want to make sure that you're not running chainsaws at 10 p.m., having people drop off tractors and running them and making noise and backfiring. So I have, out of, just thinking of my neighbors first, I pretty much stopped working on chainsaws. Number one, they're dirty. Number two, you need to know a lot to work on chainsaws, which I don't have all that much experience on them. And the other thing is, when you work on chainsaws, you got to cut wood to tune them, and that's loud. And I don't want that noise for my neighbors. Lastly, whenever my neighbors have a problem, and they come to me nonstop, like, oh, my mower's not cutting even, this thing's backfiring, this is doing this is doing that, my brother needs a tractor, whatever it is, I try and talk to my neighbors and figure out, how I can help them. And generally, I don't charge them unless they're looking for something like service, sharpening the blades and air filters and plugs. Yeah, they will get charged. But answering questions and fixing little things like they need a spring or whatever, I'll just take care of it for them. So all that in a nutshell, that's how I handle a small business, and that's why, to me, a small business is really a good option compared to the big dealer and that. And one of the things that really worried me when I started my small engine business was, well, what if I don't know how to fix something? Well, I could tell you guys, you might think that you're at a big shop and you can just ask someone else and then you're able to fix it. But you can just go online, and there's a great community out there. We got Bruce Pender, we got Mixed Motors, we got Steve's Small Engine Salon, we've got Terrell. So there's all these guys out there. Ken Small Engine, we don't want to forget him. We got a good group of guys out there that are dealing with small engines. And if you ever get in a bind, we're starting to really put together a community on YouTube to help people out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you have questions or topics you want me to cover in the next one, put it down in the comments, and maybe I'll be able to highlight it for you. Thanks for listening, guys. Be safe and have a great weekend.